Hello everyone, our group consists of Babita, Chloe, and Krishna. Our choice is Delhi air pollution as a wicked problem.
The capital of India has a population of one of the highest in the world, 30.3 million inhabitants. Most have also termed it the gas chamber or the asthma capital. In 2018, WHO declared Delhi the most polluted city on the planet. Air pollution is responsible for 10,000 to 30,000 deaths annually in Delhi. These are some of the images of the real-time air quality index of Delhi as of yesterday. It is still on top in terms of bad air quality. The maximum observed was 206 AQI, which is very unhealthy. The average is 183, which is also unhealthy.
Currently, these are some of the most important factors contributing to the air pollution complexity. Stubble burning is setting fire to straw stubble that remains after the produce have been harvested. So in September, October each year, farmers mainly in Punjab and Haryana burn their crop waste due to the short turnaround time between harvesting and sowing for the second crop. Just as the stubble burning begins, then, the wind direction changes to bring pollutants from those areas to Delhi as well. As Delhi is bounded by the Himalayan mountains, this blocks the movement of air. Also in winter, morning mist traps particles at the ground level, hence the dust and smoke accumulates and stays within the city. Delhi is also one of the most densely populated cities in the world. One of their social cultural practices includes setting off fireworks during Diwali that adds on to the smog. The huge population in the city, together with their rising incomes, lead to growing demands of energy, food and water, and also the transport. This contributes also to the traffic, construction, and cooking fires that have also increased. Moreover, the urban sprawl of Delhi resulted in a rise in private vehicle transport, which is one of the largest contributing factors to the air pollution. As much as 2/3 of deaths from air pollution in India can be attributed to exhaust emissions. This comes from diesel fuel engines, where diesel is also subsidized by the government. Also, as a big population requires energy, Delhi obtains it through coal power plants which are situated within and around Delhi. 10 of 11 plants have failed to install pollution control devices that would have curbed premature deaths linked to toxic emissions, and there is no clear rules of penalty. This contributed even more to the smog and toxic emissions of the air pollution.
Due to geographical condition, Delhi is cool and dry and still air are trapped over the city and limits its dispersal. Tremendous growth of population and industry sector is also responsible for the pollution. The urban populations have also increased as the region's population has boomed in the past decades. In 1997, the Punjab government offered sufficient equity to farmers to incentivize greater agricultural production. However, a direct result of the law was the depletion of groundwater levels. To combat this, the Punjab government in 2009 enacted Water Act. Unfortunately, it indirectly resulted in the subtle crops burning. Together, these factors combined to cause a sudden decline in air quality in Delhi in recent years. Delhi's air quality is very bad throughout the year, but some of the worst pollution period occurred during the end of the year due to the stubble burning and Diwali. The social culture has setting of fires offered for Diwali is hard to change despite the government ban. Delhi's air quality requires a deep understanding of the sources that contribute to the air pollution. The major players are pollution from transportation and road dust. Without sufficient public transport, locals still have to commute with private transport to work in the city centers. The air pollution is a problem with roots in the politics, including the unintended consequences of water conservation law. The city's sprawl was left unattended. The multi-level of inefficiency governance in every sector has contributed to the wicked problems and it's so persistent.
Air pollution in Delhi hampers the sustainability greatly. In terms of environmental aspect, with increased pollutants, it leads to increased water pollution, acid rain, damage to crops, makes the city prone to disasters, threat to aquatic life, and therefore damages and degrades the environment greatly and sometimes irreversibly. In terms of social aspect, it harms the health of the people, makes them less productive, causes more deaths, as we have already seen, leads to less interactions, and also decreases the happiness. It also causes water scarcity or lack of access to water. Finally, it exerts pressure on resources and puts economy at stake during emergencies, like during the Great Smoke of 2016, which led to closing of schools and businesses. Let us look at the city's resilience to the problem. The city fails to be resilient in emergency situations and economic crisis. There is little usage of renewable energy, the capacity of the state is weak in terms of power and finance, and it is relying on short-term measures rather than long-term measures. There is again lack of collaborative approach as we see in the case of stubble burning. This is further exacerbated by lack of advocacy and media attention. For example, the lack of advocacy of alternative techniques for stubble burning. Therefore, the elements of resilience, those are flexibility, redundancy, capacity to reorganize, and capacity to learn, are mostly missing in this wicked problem.
Reflecting on the Green City framework, we can see that there is a lack of strong government mandate for urban planning, which has resulted in a lack of green infrastructure. Also, a lack of providing sufficient public transport for the huge working population. There's also a lack of focus on using renewable energy or developing more green spaces that have been mostly taken up by the residential projects. The air pollution, coal power plants and industrial activities also result in polluting their water resource, one of which is the river Yamuna, in which you can see a devotee praying and surrounded by toxic foam. Hence, weak governmental regulations together with a lack of green infrastructure contributes to a lack of access to clean water and air, which is really endangering the health of the citizens of Delhi.
Thank you, everyone.